All right, folks, I know we've been waiting on this one for a while. Let's get it fired up. This is the XLM deep dive, the stellar secrets revealed. Long time coming on this one. I just want to get right on into it. I'm super excited. I know you guys have been waiting for this one. Full disclosure, XLM is my second biggest cryptocurrency holding. You guys know I like to keep it transparent with you guys. This is not paid, not sponsored by Stellar. I have no affiliation. I have never done any paid or sponsored deals, but this cryptocurrency is one that has always interested me, and there's a reason why it's my number 2 holding right behind XRP. So I'm super excited to break this one down for you guys. I got a slideshow presentation. We're going to go over some of the documents and partnerships. This one goes deep. I'm going to try to get it as clean and concise and presented as best for you guys. And I really appreciate this is going to go through for people that are brand new, just kind of understanding and hearing about XLM for the first time. This is going to cover it, but then we're going to go deep again at the end of this session on how far these ties go and how high up the pyramid the connections are. It's very exciting going down these rabbit holes, and I have a lot of fun doing so. As I said, though, this is not financial advice, not paid, sponsored, or affiliated in any sort of way. But if you guys are looking to get tapped in, you guys know where to do that at my website, zachrichter.com. Everything's over there. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right on into it. XLM deep dive. Really excited to share this one with you guys. Let's get right into it. So here on CoinMarketCap, we can see this is 11/26/2022, and we are trading at the 88.16, but that's an 8-cent XLM right now, 0.088 cents USD. Is going to be the price of Stellar here today. We can see the market cap is at 2 billion. Okay, we have a circulating supply of 25.7 billion XLM in circulation. And then let's go on down to the stats. Let's take a look here. The trading volume in the last 24 hours is 45 million. Okay. And then, like I said, market cap's at 2.2 billion. And this is what I wanted to share with you guys, though. The all-time high was on January 4th, 2018, 5 years ago, basically the same time as XRP, and that was a 93-cent XLM. Okay? So the all-time high for XLM is 93 cents. Okay, let's keep that in mind. That is important. Now, let's get right on into the slideshow. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. If you guys haven't already, please smash that thumbs up for me. Okay, thank you so much. Let's get right into the slideshow. Okay, this is the XLM deep dive. Let's get right on into it. What is XLM? Stellar Lumens is an open source decentralized protocol for digital currency to fiat money low-cost transfers which allow cross-border transactions between any pair of currencies. The Stellar protocol is supported by a Delaware nonprofit corporation, the Stellar Development Foundation. Similar to xrpledger, the Stellar network is a DEX, a decentralized exchange, and XLM is the native token for the network. So very similar in as far as how this technology works. They're both decentralized exchanges built into the protocols, which is so important. And then the main utility focus is payments once again with the XLM token and capabilities. So let's continue on. The history of XLM, Stellar, and Jed McCaleb. Now, you guys know it goes much past 2014. Jed McCaleb also being one of the, basically created the XRP ledger, and he helped to found Ripple as well. That's what he did prior to going here in 2014. He was the founder of Mt. Gox, which most of you guys know about that. Mt. Gox, one of the largest Bitcoin hacks at the time. Jed McCaleb was actually the founder of that. And as I mentioned, co-founder of Ripple. He launched the network system Stellar with former lawyer Joyce Kim. Before the official launch, McCaleb formed a website called Secret Bitcoin Project seeking alpha testers. So he was an early Bitcoin developer, went on then to create XRP, create and found Ripple, and then he went on to Stellar. Basically, there was a little bit of division there between Ripple and Jed McCaleb and the other founders of Ripple, and so they decided to part ways. The nonprofit Stellar Development Foundation was created in collaboration with Stripe CEO Patrick Collison, and the project officially launched that July. Stellar received $3 million in seed funding from Stripe. Stellar was released as a decentralized payment network and protocol with a native currency, Stellar. At its launch, the network had 100 billion Stellars. 25% of those would be given to other nonprofits working toward financial inclusion. Stripe received 2% or 2 billion of the initial Stellar in return for its seed investment. Okay, so the cryptocurrency originally known as Stellar was later called Lumens or XLM In August 2014, Mercado Bitcoin, the first Brazilian Bitcoin exchange, announced it would be using the Stellar network. By January of 2015, Stellar had approximately 3 million registered user accounts on its platform, and its market cap was almost 15 billion. But then, the Stellar Development Foundation released an upgraded protocol with a new consensus algorithm in 2015 of April, which went live later that year in November with an upgraded protocol. This is very important, and I want to make a quick point here. The Stripe deal is a pretty clear investment contract. So we see that obviously Ripple's in this battle against the SEC, and that's over XRP. Jed McCaleb, one of the early developers, creators of XRP actually, and the founder of Ripple, who received, I think, 9 or 10 billion XRP. I mean, it was ridiculous how much XRP he received. And he was the one founder who actually has been dumping XRP this whole time, but he's nowhere to be found in the SEC Ripple lawsuit. Very interesting. Nowhere to be found or intro for the Mt. Gox hack. Very interesting. But then we go on to see this deal with Stripe, which in my mind, I'm not a lawyer, but this is a pretty clear investment contract. The Stripe deal is, let's go back here once again. It says right here that Stellar received 3 million in seed funding from Stripe, and then they went on. Stripe received 2% or 2 billion XLM in return for its seed investment. But then we go further than that, and we understand that XLM wasn't even a finished out product yet because the network upgraded in 2015 from the original initial protocol. Now, I'm not sure how big of an upgrade that was, because we see like XRP just got the NFT update. They're continuing to amend it, but it's not a major overhaul. I don't know if that was a major overhaul that they did in 2015, but they did have to upgrade the protocol and release basically an updated version in November of 2015. And that was after Stripe gave that 3 million to Stellar and then received tokens as compensation, right? And obviously that was they were relying on Stellar to build out the XLM and release the protocol. I mean, it was literally the Stellar Development Foundation. So it wasn't a group. See, this is the difference between the NFT update that XRP just got, where the validators confirmed that update. They confirmed that amendment. That wasn't just Ripple. Back here in 2015, this was the Stellar Development Foundation literally building out the new protocol themselves, right? So this is where this gets interesting. And if there's any classification or, what meets a definition of an investment contract, that deal with Stripe meets it. Do I expect the SEC to go back after Stellar and Jed McCaleb? No, I don't. But it does. Now here's the difference. Today's XLM is decentralized, but the XLM that Stellar gave Stripe was an unfinished protocol. Now, like I said, this is the case with many cryptocurrencies, and I believe this is what's going to be set as the precedent, the Ripple test. Okay, the XRP that they sold back in the day, the XLM that Stellar sold back in the day, that was or could be an investment contract. But today's XLM is decentralized, and we know this because I can go right here and I can go pull up. This is stellarbeat.io, and this gives you guys the public network. You can view the Stellar network visibility. And we can see right here that we have, let me get the most recent, 117 watcher nodes, 56 validator nodes, 42 full validators with 14 organizations. And this is confirming the consensus protocol for Stellar. So it is decentralized today. Oh, and that's what I was going to share, is that Stellar currently only runs 3 of those validators. Okay, so you have over 40 validators in full with 14 other organizations, and Stellar Development Foundation is only confirming with 3 validator nodes. So that's an important distinguish of today's XLM versus what kind of deal was going on back in the day with Stripe. Very interesting connection there with Stripe. We understand how important Stripe is in today's payments infrastructure. Stripe is a major player right now for a lot of businesses and doing processing. So that's a very important deal. But the nature of that investment contract and deal definitely meets that how we test securities investment. But we got to distinguish today's XLM, I don't believe, is a security. Today's XLM is a virtual currency that is decentralized. And so does today's XLM meet the what I think is going to be the new Ripple test? Yes. Yeah. Today's XRP decentralized. Today's XLM decentralized. But the deals that these guys did back in the day, that's what the SEC is going to be going back on them for. Do I expect them to go after Jed McCaleb though? No, I don't. Okay. Now let's get further here into the history of XLM here. The Stellar Development Foundation released an upgraded protocol in 2015. We went over that. Okay. And then Lightyear.io, a for-profit entity of Stellar, launched in May of 2017 as the commercial arm of the company. In September 2017, Stellar announced a benefits program, part of its Stellar Partnership Grant Program, which would award partners up to $2 million worth of lumens for project development. In September of 2018, Lightyear Corporation acquired Chain Incorporated, and the combined company was named Interstellar. So Interstellar now is the for-profit entity that basically is the for-profit entity of Stellar. Okay, so that's where we're at today. Now let's get on into the tokenomics of Stellar XLM. Initially, we had 100 billion lumens were created in 2014. At present, the total supply stands at 50 billion XLM, and the circulating supply is currently about 25 billion. In 2019, the Stellar Development Foundation announced that it was burning over half of the cryptocurrency supply. This means that it now controls approximately 30 billion XLM. While some of this capital is earmarked for marketing and helping other organizations develop, about 1/3 is reserved for making investments in other blockchain ventures. Explaining why it took this drastic move and promising not to burn any more XLM in the future, the foundation explained SDF, or the Stellar Development Foundation, can be leaner and do the work it was created to do using fewer lumens. Those 55.5 billion lumens weren't going to increase the adoption of Stellar. Excuse me. Yeah, so they burned off 55.5 billion lumens because they believed that they didn't need them to increase the adoption of Stellar. Now, what's interesting about this is that Stellar burning half the supply is also not a good look. Okay. At the time of this, I believe that it was mostly pushed by Jed McCaleb and the Stellar Development Foundation. And that was in 2019 after they did have multiple nodes, multiple validators. So was that a decentralized consensus that decided that? That's a case for them to make in court. But will they ever have to make that case? Probably not. So it's not a good look when the SEC is determining whether or not XLM is a security. But that was back in the day. Just like, Mt. Gox, just like Jed McCaleb being part of Ripple, it appears that the SEC does not care to go after Jed McCaleb, or for that matter, any of the bad actors in the space until they create billions of dollars worth of damages, right? But that's the corruption of our government. That's a whole other conversation that we do not have time to get into here today. Now, let's get into the consensus protocol because this is important. Once again, how this is validated, not proof of work, not proof of stake. This is, once again, the consensus protocol similar to XRP. Stellar is an open source protocol for exchanging money or tokens using the Stellar Consensus Protocol. The platform source code is hosted on GitHub. Servers run a software implementation of the protocol and use the internet to connect to and communicate with other Stellar servers. Each server stores a ledger of all the accounts in the network. 3 nodes are operated by the Stellar Development Foundation in conjunction with 14 other organizations, providing for a total of 42 full validator nodes. Transactions among other accounts occur not through mining, but rather a consensus process among other accounts in a quorum slice. The network fee is 100 stroops, equivalent to 0.00001 XLM. So very similar to XRP in that nature of the consensus protocol. And as I just showed you guys with the stellarbeat.io, you guys can actually go look at the validators. It's 14 other. I had to go pull that because if you guys go look up Wikipedia XLM, if you go look up Wikipedia is kind of bad because they'll be sharing information with you guys that is years old. So you got to go to basically the blockchain scanners and actually go to some of these resources and pull the current data because at the time of this recording, there's only 14 other organizations confirming the XLM network. Okay. And we know that Stellar is running 3 of those. Okay. Now, we talked about the tokenomics. Now I want to get into the partnerships here that XLM has, that Stellar has. And these are some big ones. These are very worth mentioning. We have, first off, we have IBM, Deloitte, MoneyGram, and many more smaller companies and payment providers. These are the main ones. Then a couple other noteworthy partnerships is on January 6th of 2021, the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine announced cooperation and partnership with Stellar in development of Ukraine digital infrastructure. Key thing to note about this partnership, guys, is that they aren't using the XLM token. This is just like Ripple and Quant being on the advisory board of the Digital Pound Foundation. That doesn't mean that they're using the XRP ledger right now. Similar with that partnership with Ukraine. They're not using XLM, but they are seeing how they could potentially use distributed ledger technology, and Stellar is basically an advisory position, right? They're advising them on how to do so. And, you know, we got to speculate that, yeah, they probably are showing them here's how you could use XLM. Our blockchain that we've chosen does work pretty good, but that doesn't mean that Ukraine's CBDC is built on the Stellar, okay? That is not the case. But this is an important role that Stellar is playing right now in helping Ukraine run through that transformation. And you know that that goes much, much deeper. We won't go further on that. But back to the partnerships, okay? Very, very interesting one right here. This is in 2021, Franklin Templeton launched the first tokenized U.S. mutual fund using Stellar. And we're going to go take a look here at the, this is actually the SEC filing right here. I'm going to pull this up for you guys. This is the SEC filing, okay, from Franklin Templeton Trust. Now, you guys can't read this because this is obviously very small handwriting, but I just want to scroll down here and show you guys this part. Okay, I missed it. Okay, I missed the, I thought that I had it highlighted. Yeah, right here. Although the fund's transfer agents will maintain the official record of share ownership in book entry form, the ownership of the fund shares will also be recorded on the Stellar network, an electronic distributed ledger that is secured using cryptography. And so they kind of go into explain what blockchain is. Blockchain networks are based upon, it says, in the future, the ownership of the fund shares may be maintained and recorded solely on the Stellar network, although there is no guarantee that this will occur. The fund will not invest in any cryptocurrencies. So basically, and let me go back to this. Sorry, the fund there is using the blockchain right there. They're using Stellar network to record keep, right, and to keep track of who owns what shares. Okay, but then they go on to say that it is used in, you know, the old-fashioned way for now, but eventually it could go on to, you know, specifically just being held on the Stellar network. And what's important about this is you get them in the door by getting them just to understand how easily and how much better it is for controlling data and keeping track of shares. But later on, where this gets exciting is when the stock market and or tokenized shares, tokenized mutual funds, are being shared over the XLM network, and XLM, the currency, is actually being used for liquidity. See, first we get them in with record tracking, you know, keeping track of shares. Then we actually start using the cryptocurrencies for liquidity. And that's where this starts to get very exciting. But right there, that is a true partnership where they're actually using the XLM network. And that's from a major player, right? Franklin Templeton, they've been around for a while for sure. Now, other utilities of XLM. Of course, we have payments, we have the decentralized exchange, and we have tokenization. Many more, but the above mentioned are the important utilities along with liquidity as well. Now, we got to get into this. It's unfortunate that we have to talk about this, but there was a case. Let me back out here. There was a case here over the last year where Lobster, which is a wallet that allows you to utilize the Stellar network, was basically pushed on people. A lot of projects that were built on the XLM network were pushed, and people related them to Lobster, and they did so unfairly. Lobster is just one wallet within the XLM ecosystem that you can utilize for getting access to utilizing the XLM ledger. So basically the same thing with XRP and the Zum wallet, where the Zum wallet is just another wallet that you can utilize to get into the XRP ledger. And then we had a bunch of poop coins and meme tokens built on the XRP ledger the last year. Same thing happened with XLM. And then obviously, this allowed the bad actors to come in and take advantage of this, and they were pushing all these people into what I refer to as the lobster scams. Now, let's get into this. People took advantage of the open source network to launch poop coins on the Stellar network. Influencers pushed the scams and people lost money. Lobster is just one of many crypto wallets that allows you to access the DEX built into the Stellar network. The problem was never Lobster Wallet. It is similar to Zum for XRP. The problem was the people that took advantage of the open source tech and the sellout shills. Right. So that is the real problem right there. And now I wanted to share this one with you guys. This is an important look here at the ecosystem. Okay, and this is one of the mind maps from XX1133. Huge shout out to this guy. He puts together great mind maps on all of these utility tokens and these ecosystems. But this one right here, you can see that you have all of these different Circle Pay, MoneyGram, Flutterwave, all of these projects on top of it. You have wallets, and that's where Lobster comes in. So Lobster was just another one of these wallets within this whole XLM ecosystem. And because this is open source technology, anybody can use it. So in one way, it's good because it shows the decentralized nature of these blockchains. But then people are just crappy. We got crappy people that just take advantage of the technology, and then they come release scams on it. And then the Lobster wallet, which is a great wallet for actually utilizing the DEX built into the XLM network, it's a great wallet. But then people relate all of the scams with Lobster. The problem is not Lobster. The problem is the shills. And then the problem is all the people that actually built these tokens that had no value. But this gets us into the next major utility and speculation for a lot of people is seeing tokenized assets being settled on blockchain, being settled potentially on XLM. And the end goal, the best case would be the whole stock market or a large portion of the stock market being settled on XLM. It is a perfect DEX and liquidity network for that use case. And I wanted to show you guys this. This is going to get into it right here. Stock market on XLM. Being a DEX means we could see stocks, commodities, bonds, real estate, and anything of value put onto the Stellar network. As we mentioned, in 2021, Franklin Templeton tokenized the first mutual fund using the Stellar network. And, quote, although the fund's transfer agent will maintain the official record of share ownership in book entry form, the ownership of the fund shares will also be recorded on the Stellar network. And that's from that SEC filing that I just showed you guys. And as I said, they use the Stellar network for record keeping, but in the future, after regulatory clarity, XLM will be used for liquidity. And that's where this gets interesting for us. Not just record keeping, right? Not just advising them on how to roll out the CBDC, but actually using the currency for liquidity. Now, this is where people took advantage of people that, like myself and you, that are trying to understand the utility. They're trying to understand the new financial system. Okay, what networks could actually run the stock market? That's the question. What networks, what blockchains could actually settle up all of the securities trading and settlement that happens every year, every single day? Who actually could provide that liquidity? In my opinion, there's only a handful of blockchains that can actually get it done, right? And you guys know my thoughts on that. XLM definitely being another blockchain, another liquidity token that is absolutely ready to get it done. Now, speaking on that, let's get right into it. My favorite utility, liquidity. This is why XRP is my biggest holding and why I love XLM too. Both these ledgers are cheap, efficient, and scale for handling transactions first. Without scalability, none of the other utilities matter. Look at Solana, for example. The target market for Stellar does appear to be more focused on retail, smaller solutions than XRP. However, there is plenty of opportunity for XLM to grow just handling these problems. So let's bring up some of the numbers. We have 156 trillion in cross-border payments alone. Okay, we have 111 trillion in a global equity market. That's the total market of all of the stocks or equities is 111 trillion, and about 50 trillion of that is in US-based stocks. Then, according to the World Bank, we have 61 trillion in equities traded in 2019. Now, let me go show you guys this. This is going to be right there. This is from the worldbank.org. World Bank right here. This is their numbers. And this shows you guys the stocks traded in total US value. So in 2015, we peaked out at an all-time high for stocks traded. The value of it was 101 trillion just in 2015. And then most recently in 2019, the most recent data tells us we had 61 trillion in 2019. Okay, so you can see how big these markets are. And then we look further. We have over 1 quadrillion in the derivatives market. Now, we're about to get into that. Okay, but this is where we look at real opportunity, is who can settle up these massive, massive networks, trillions of dollars every single day, right? Who can get it done? XLM is a perfect liquidity token and payments network for all of these solutions. Is it going to get some of the stock market? Is it going to get some bonds? Is it going to get some real estate? I believe that these networks are going to get a piece of all of it, because even if most banks and financial institutions are going to be using it for, let's say, CBDCs and cross-border payments, that's not going to stop somebody else from tokenizing gold or silver or any other commodity or real estate or bonds and putting it on the XLM network. Now, as I said, you had bad actors taking advantage of the open source technology, launching meme tokens, launching a hope and a dream and a prayer on the XLM network. And then you had all of these shills who are pushing people in, oh, this is the future stock market. This company that was just made up last year and doesn't even have a website is going to basically be tokenized gold for this country. And then this one's going to be tokenized silver for this country. And this is going to give you shares to this gold mining out of this country. It was BS. It was BS. It was outright scams and frauds. And that's what's so unfortunate about this cryptocurrency space. But what matters is that it has the utility, it has the potential to solve these trillion-dollar problems. Now, as we look at how high could this thing go, what is the future predictions for XLM and the price of it? I want to make a clear distinction. There is a difference, a major, major difference between circulating supply and the available supply for liquidity. So when we were going through the tokenomics, we pulled up CoinMarketCap and we saw that 25.7 billion XLM is in circulation. The remaining 30 billion, I guess, is locked up in Stellar's accounts. Okay. But 25 billion of that supply is in quote unquote circulation. But a lot of that XLM is held by me and you and other people who are just holding on to their XLM, and that XLM is not available for liquidity. So when we look at the potential, when we do the market cap bro calculations, I want to, going forward, make that distinction. The distinction between circulating supply and the available supply for liquidity. Because I've talked about this with XRP too. If there's a 25 billion circulating supply of XLM and there's a 50 billion circulating supply of XRP, there's not 50 billion circulating XRP for liquidity. There's not 50 billion XRP available for liquidity. There's not 25 billion XLM available for liquidity. There's probably less than 10 billion of each. Right? With XLM, it's probably even less because there's even less of a supply. So for making our assumptions, making our predictions, and doing our market cap bro calculations, trying to figure out how high this dang thing can go, I want to make that distinction for these liquidity tokens because people are getting confused about these numbers. Okay? And if an institution were to adopt XLM or XRP and want to use it for liquidity, they have to do that calculation. They have to come up with how much supply do we have? We only have 5 billion XLM to settle all of Swift, okay? We know that. How quickly can we turn over the same XLM per day, okay? And what price do we need to be at to provide that liquidity, which in the case of Swift is $6 trillion per day? In the case of ACI worldwide is $14 trillion per day. So when we look at, how big can this space get, distributed ledger technology, we know there's two networks that take us to $20 trillion in settlement daily. Over 111 trillion in global equity market and over 1 quadrillion in derivatives. And I think for a lot of us, where we get kind of caught up and confused is we think that these tokens have to have just one main primary use case and that's it. And we're about to get into this about how XRPs for derivatives and XLM is the one world currency, the one world lumens. That's not the case though, because anybody can build on this and it can be used for all sorts of other networks and utilities as well. So XRP is not just going to be for derivatives. XLM's not just going to be for cross-border payments, but if they get just a chunk of these flows, we get to a very, very exciting place. So let's get into this. Let's get into this, folks. Let's get into my XLM predictions, what you guys have been waiting for. Let's talk about the fun stuff, okay? The lightest slap on the wrist from the SEC, if they even do ever go after Jed McCaleb and the Stellar Development Foundation. Highly unlikely with the ties that Jed has. So as I mentioned, I do not believe that the SEC will go after Jed, and if they do, I believe it will be the lightest slap on the wrist ever. I believe that XLM is most likely to pump when Ripple versus SEC case ends. So once again, XLM caught a little bit of a wave. It went up to about 70 cents or so this last bull run, but it did not set a new all-time high. And so it has been suppressed just like XRP has. I believe that the initial pump for XLM is going to be that $3 to $10 price range. Let me explain. If you go from a technical analysis standpoint and you pull the Fibonacci extensions, you will see that a lot of these altcoins that have been around since the last bull run, in 2021, they did about a 3 to 5x from their previous all-time high, the last bull run. So when I saw that metric, about a 3 to 5x, and then you line it up with the Fibonacci extensions and put a little extra technical analysis on it, the price points for me were about $3 to $6. $3 to $6 is where I initially saw it, but I'm just going to go on the high end because we've been so suppressed. It's like they're pulling back that slingshot, right? And the longer this thing gets stalled out, the further they're pulling back and the further we're about to launch. That's with XRP, that's with XLM. And because they suppressed us and didn't give us a new all-time high last bull run, that's why I think that these get extended out for these suppressed coins. So Bitcoin wasn't suppressed at all, and it did about a 3x from its previous all-time high. Similar thing with Ethereum happened, right? And so that's why I got that 3 to 5x from the previous all-time high, and you pull up the Fibonacci extensions and you can see where that takes you as well. And that gives me a range of about $3 to $10 on initial breakout. It's a similar prediction that I have for XRP of about $7, $8 all the way up to, $20, $30 even, because it's been so suppressed. And there's a lot of unknown factors too that you get into with the exchanges and everything else. But just for simplifying this for you guys, on initial breakout, initial pump, I have targets. I've had targets, and I thought that we were going to have a new all-time high set after Bitcoin topped out, after Ethereum topped out. I thought that we were going to have an alt run that included XRP and XLM. That did not happen. Okay? And I was planning, I have my exit strategy for taking some of my allocation, some of my profits above $3. That was kind of my initial first target for taking and exiting on my exit strategy. I'm not going to give you guys my full exit strategy on XLM just for the sake of time, but that is the targets that I had, was about a $3 XLM. That's when I'm going to start taking a chunk of profit off the table. But let's get into the long-term price predictions. I put $100 plus, okay? And now I'm not here to give you financial advice. And a year from now, if XLM hasn't hit $100, you guys will be able to clip this up and pull it back up and say that I predicted $100 XLM. I'm willing to wait 10 years for my 3, 4, and 5 digit XRP, XLM, and my other investments in the utility cryptocurrencies. I'm willing to wait 5 to 10 years, guys. I'm patient. Okay. And I didn't used to be like that. Full transparency, right? You guys know. I used to think that the Ripple versus SEC case was going to be settled up back in 2020 when it first dropped. I thought, no way this thing lasts, 2 years. Here we are coming up on the 2-year lawsuit. I thought, no way are they going to wait to launch cryptocurrency regulations, let us have that level playing field, and let cryptocurrency adoption thrive. I thought that we were going to get that here sooner. But what we got was a retail pump, a retail bull run last year that was based off speculations. And quite frankly, NFTs, memes, metaverse took away a lot of the money that would have gone into older altcoins that have been around for a while that have real utility. They have been suppressed as well artificially by Jed McCaleb dumping XRP, and XLM too is kind of just this thing that's been in the shadows, right? But long term, I do believe in $100 plus XLM, and I'm going to show you guys why. If we go over here, because we're going to get the market cap bros, the market cap bros are going to come for us. So let's go see what the market cap bros have to say on this. This is our market cap calculations. And if you look here, if you take the $100 XLM and we have a circulating supply of 50 billion, which we will never have a circulating supply of 50 billion, but just to be extra conservative, extra conservative here, $100 XLM, 50 billion circulating supply gives us a market cap of 5 trillion. I just went over the numbers with you guys, and you guys that watch me and listen to me understand how little I think 5 trillion is in the overall payments infrastructure. So if anybody wants to market cap me, bro, on $100 XLM, 5 trillion is nothing. We're going to have that moving daily. We're going to have hundreds of trillions moving on distributed ledger technology. And there is quadrillions of dollars of value that has to run on something. And the derivatives market is a large part of the problem of where we're at today. It has to all be reset and restructured. Derivatives, precious metals, stocks and bonds, all of the debt has to be reset, restructured, and revalued. It's got to go somewhere. And this is what gets exciting for me, is if we're even 50% right, if we're even 10% right, it's a life-changing opportunity. Now, I did want to share, this is, let's go further down the rabbit holes with predictions and where this road could take us. Right here, this is, right here. This is where people get the speculation on XRP, XLM, XCC, Algo, and IOTA being backed by precious metals. This one is another chart here from XX1133. And there's been other ones floating around too, okay? But this is just one of the examples. And it's important to note here that he says possible. This is a possible post reset revaluation of the gold standard return to stablecoins from paperback to metals, from non-insured, unrelated to asset-backed, secure, insured, and regulated, auditable, right? So this is going from the old system to the new system, backing it by real assets, okay? And this is where people see this, and a lot of people have had the speculation that these coins are going to be backed by precious metals. Basically, 1 XRP is going to be equal to 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver is going to be equal to XLM. But what's important here to note is, and you guys won't be able to read this, but what's important to note here is the utilities of these cryptocurrencies that he lists here is what's going to be backing these. I don't believe that 1 XRP is going to be equal to 1 ounce of gold. In fact, I'm about to go into the Kendra Hill theory, and she said that 1 XRP is going to be equal to more than 1 ounce of gold. So we're about to go down that rabbit hole. But what's important here is the utilities that he puts and lists in this mind map, which that's all this is. This is just a mind map. This is not an official document, okay? But XRP is an agnostic exchange token for institutional value and bulk settlement. That's about spot on. That's about the utility right there. For XLM Stellar, we have a cross-border DeFi payment, P2P, which is person to person, and we have business to business remittance, right? With XDC Zinfin, we have world trade and institutional value and contracts. That's going to be your Zinfin. And on Algorand, we have dApps and we have smart contract network. And with IOTA, we have machine-to-machine data autonomy and the Internet of Things, data and cross-border digital ID. So these are all ISO-compliant coins, right? ISO-compliant networks. And you can see the utility here that is definitely all going to be needed. But in my opinion, this is why XLM has always been my number 2, is because it's going after smaller use cases, smaller problems. Cross-border DeFi payments and remittances is big. It's $156 trillion just in this year alone, right? So that's massive, but it's not as big as an exchange token for institutional value and bulk settlement, i.e. derivatives. So that's why XRP is my number 1, and this is why XLM is my number 2, is because the use case is the number 2 problem solved, okay? Now, let's have fun with this, guys. Let's have fun with this. I want to go into the Kendra Hill theories, and she was apparently an early XRP insider, and she comes from a banking family, so take it for what it's worth, but we're going to go down this rabbit hole, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So let's check this out, folks. Thank you for tuning in. This is from the Riddler archive, and we're going to be talking about Kendra Hill here. So in this thread, I'd like to introduce the XRP community on crypto Twitter to Kendra Hill, another alleged XRP insider. Note that it's not her real name, and I will be providing no doxing info on her in this thread ever. People refer to her as the 1 million XRP girl. Kendra Hill launched her blog on the Steemit platform in July of 2018. She posted on many topics, including self-improvement, her theosophic worldview, and music, but mainly her knowledge of cryptocurrency XRP. She also posts regularly about her own crypto projects. Okay, this is in 2019 too, this Twitter post, this Twitter thread that I'm reading off right now. Kendra Hill's main focus was the role of XRP and XLM would play in the future, but she also mentioned other cryptocurrencies including Stratus, Elastos, Ethereum, and IOTA. She also posted frequently in the comment section of XRP-related YouTube videos. Gotta take another sip of coffee. Let's get it. Kendra Hill claims she's from a family of investment bankers, and in 2016 she was given a birthday present of 1 million XRP by her family, which was only equal to 10,000 then. She didn't understand it and wanted to sell it, but to stop her, her grandfather gave her insider information on Ripple's agenda. Now, this is where this gets interesting. This may surprise many in the XRP community. Kendra Hill states that there will one day be a single world currency, but it won't be XRP. It will actually be the Lumen. Okay. Now let me read this off for you guys. This is from her blog. She says, the world only needs one. Before the digital age, using one world currency was not possible. Now that we are able to connect with people around the globe in seconds, one currency would be ideal. With that thought in mind, think about the cryptocurrency market. So many to choose from, yet only one is needed. This is where this gets really juicy. She says cryptocurrency will be made illegal. This is not a maybe, this is a warning. Nothing is left up to chance. Our world is always planned years in advance. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, and failure is not an option. Allowing additional cryptocurrencies to exist when the world is only using one would be disruptive, so it will not be tolerated, and it will be easier to stop than you think. The illusion is that Bitcoin, for example, is untouchable. The reality is that it is government controlled through the use of mining pools. Any cryptocurrency aiming to be decentralized digital currency will not survive. The one that we will use has already been chosen. The one world currency is already here. Not only is it here, you may already be in possession of it. The currency of the future is currently ranked in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap. Now the question is, which cryptocurrency is it? I will answer that in my next blog post. There is some information I wish to release regarding the people organizations involved. People may not believe what I say today, and I do not expect anyone to. When the time comes and the truths are revealed, you will realize that I am someone you should listen to. This is why I am starting my blog in the way that I am. She says, step into the light, introducing the one currency which will replace all fiat currencies, the Lumen. It can be transferred in seconds for less than the value of a penny, and the supply is capable of scaling to meet the needs of a growing world population. The Lumen can be defined as a luminous flux of light produced by a light source. Lucifer is the bearer of light, the morning star. Soon, we will be sending lumens using Li-Fi, light used to transmit data. Welcome to the age of Lucifer. Chance is an illusion. It may appear that there are multiple cryptocurrencies battling to claim the top spot. The reality is that only one currency is needed and that one has already been released. The Lumen will scale to the masses using the Lightning Network. All of the world's transactions will be processed each second almost instantaneously. Now, we'll see how far we go into this. Jed McCaleb is the co-founder of Stellar Lumens. He is connected to an organization called the Lucius Trust. Lucius means light, which has a project called World Goodwill, United Nations Sustainable Development Plan that promotes the teachings of its founder, Alice Bailey. The Lucius Trust, formerly Lucifer Publishing Company, is the organization behind the One World Religion. By 2030, the world will have one single religion. Chance does not exist, you must be chosen. I'm going to skip over that and I'm just going to say this. Numbers are very important in our world. Even words have numerical values. The English language is coded to mimic a language used over 10,000 years ago. There is nothing new under the sun. Forgive me, Lord, for I am rebellious. Now, you guys go take a look at this for yourself. This is so true. Now, you throw in Stellar XLM into your Gematria calculator, and it's going to give you that 666. Right? It is going to give you that 666. And if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole and see all the other words, the alphanumerical code and value that brings you to that 666, you guys can go look at that for yourself. I'm not going to go further on that. I'm not going to go further on those entities like that trust, and the connections there go all the way up to BG, go to the Federal Reserve, and further and deeper. But for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm not going to go deeper than that. Okay? But this is from Kendra Hill's blog, and how much of this has really come to fruition, right? Very interesting to see. This was a blog that was put out so long ago, and now we're watching it unfold in real time. And for those of you guys that don't understand the numbers and all that, the little bit of the secret sauce there, put as much value as you want on it. I'm not here to tell you guys you got to put any value on it. I'm just telling you that there's a little something there that is interesting. It's a funny coincidence. Okay? And you may want to read your Bibles later tonight or something. I don't know. God, please forgive me, for I am rebellious, is what Kendra Hill says. But let's continue on here. Let's continue on. Note that XLM as the world currency one day isn't that crazy. Stellar being nonprofit and about helping the poor could easily donate all 80 billion of their XLM holdings to the World Bank or some other global governance body in a crisis. Now, obviously, Jed McCaleb and Stellar Development Foundation burned all of those XLM, so now there is only about 50 billion in circulation total, but they do have 30 billion that they're sitting on that they could give to anybody that they wanted to, right? So what role will XRP play in the new system? Kendra stated that XRP would be used with Codius to run the $1.4 quadrillion derivatives market. She predicted this before it was cool and taken as a given by the XRP community. Now, she says XRP indexed to or backed by gold or digital gold is a popular topic this year. Kendra Hill referenced it in the summer of 2018, as you can see in the screenshots below. In her post that was titled The Currency of Time Travelers, she spoke of gold's timeless utility. Now, I want to read this off for you guys. The future value of XRP. Within the next 9 years, we will see the value of one XRP token surpass the value of 1 ounce of gold. Digital gold with use cases. Digital gold for the upper class. Okay, this is what she's calling XRP, is digital gold for the upper class. Now, this is when she says how much XRP is needed to become a millionaire. And she says that 2,000 tokens will cost you, 2,000 tokens will basically make you a millionaire. Right. Okay. But I wanted to go on down further here. This is where this gets fun. Kendra Hill claimed a Ripple and Amazon partnership before Ashish Birla's famous cough. According to her, a 2015 deal gave Amazon a stake in 5 billion XRP. This partnership was to be announced in March of 2019. And then in late 2018, she predicted that XRP would rise to $50 in 24 hours. When asked about this by one of her readers, though, she felt that it wouldn't happen in 2018 under a post predicting an early 2019 crypto bull run. Okay. And then I want to go on down here. Note that back in July of 2018, Kendra Hill explained how Bitcoin could be taken down and controlled by governments through central control of mining pools. This is a common talking point by Ripple employees today. And as we've been talking about for a long time, right, is that when they banned Bitcoin mining in China, that was a big part of the control over there. This is what I wanted to share for you guys right here. I want to read this off to you guys. The cross-border payment lie. If you were to do research on Ripple, the company, and XRP blockchain token, you would come to the conclusion that the goal is to replace SWIFT as the world's leading cross-border payments provider. What if I was to say that Ripple does not care about cross-border payments and that replacing SWIFT is only a short-term plan? In the digital age, you are able to connect with anyone around the world in seconds. For this reason, using one digital currency would be ideal. Not only is one currency all that is needed, it would be more efficient if we were to use one single currency. So what would happen to a cross-border payment provider when the world is using a digital currency that can be sent from wallet to wallet? The cross-border payment provider is no longer needed. So SWIFT would be irrelevant. I assume this is all very simple to understand. Yes, the purpose of this blog post is to help you understand. If Ripple was only focused on cross-border payments and nothing else, their success would be short-lived. They knew this before XRP even existed. Get that. If Ripple only focused on cross-border payments and nothing else, their success would be short-lived. They knew this before XRP ever existed. Think of cross-border payments as a nice testing ground to prepare Ripple for the use case they have been focused on since the very beginning. The true intentions of Ripple are to handle 100% of the transactions which take place in the derivatives market. So why do they not make this public knowledge? For multiple reasons. The most important one being that they are not ready. They are missing a piece to the puzzle, and that piece is called CODIUS. Now, for the sake of this XLM deep dive, I am not going to get into CODIUS here. The point here and why we're covering this is because she's clarifying the XRP Ripple was not meant to replace SWIFT. It is not meant for cross-border payments because XLM is going to be the one world currency, the lumens, given to us by the illuminated ones, right? And XRP is going to be for derivatives. So this is why we're covering this. This is why I'm getting into this right now. I'm not going to cover what CODIUS is, but this is what she says right here. As I said, Ripple is lying to you. The cross-border payment lie is strong. Ripple only cares about the derivatives market. They know that the average investor is not capable of critical thinking, so they will hide the truth to keep the price low for a while. Ripple and Stellar are a team. With the Lumen, cross-border payments are not needed. XRP will one day be worth more than 1 ounce of gold, and that is only a 5-year price prediction. Time tells all. I don't want to get crazy and say too much, so I will let time reveal everything. If you choose not to hold any XRP, that will be your regret. And once again, this is where we go into this. A ripple of deception is what she called this one. Jed McCaleb, co-founder of Ripple and Stellar, supporter of Lucius Trust. His family has ties connecting him to the Federal Reserve and the United Nations. In 2014, he moved on from Ripple to create Stellar, giving the illusion that the two organizations were separate entities. Ripple and Stellar are like brother and sister, each providing something of value in the new world financial system. Okay, we understand that. The world will not need a cross-border payment provider when we are using the Lumen. Stellar Lumens will become the world currency while XRP becomes a store of value. The Lumen is digital silver and XRP is digital gold. The purpose of XRP is to be used in the derivatives market while also acting as a store of value. XRP is not and was never intended to be a currency, nor was it created to be used specifically for cross-border payments. When CODIUS is released, we will see its true purpose unveiled. Ripple and Stellar are the keys to the new world financial system, which will be ushered in as the old system collapses. Perfect timing. So when I talk about long-term price predictions of 100 plus, it's because I am looking at these values. These values, these numbers are absolutely massive, guys. Let's go back a slide. 156 trillion in the cross-border payments alone. So if we roll with Kendra Hill's theory, that's going to be all moving on XLM, that 156 trillion. That's pretty substantial, right? Well, let's go look at what that is. Let's go look at what would the market cap be, and how quickly could we turn this over. You go to the market cap, bro. You go to the market cap calculator. If the coin token value is $3,000 and the circulating supply is 50 billion, you would have a market cap of 150 trillion. Okay, so we're getting close. But you're going to tell me, oh, wait, Zach, you can settle XLM in a few seconds, so you can turn that supply over and over again. Okay, true, fair. But there will never be 50 billion. There's only 20 billion, 25 billion in circulation. And like I said, we got to distinguish between the liquidity here. There's a difference between circulating supply, and there's a difference between that and the available supply for liquidity. Let's drop a 0 on the supply. And we go to 5 billion, right? That's where this gets interesting for me, is at a 5 billion supply right there that you have settling up there. That's going to take that XLM much, much higher. You're going to need it much, much higher. Now, as I said, let's go back for the market cap bros. $100 XLM gets achieved with $5 trillion of market cap, assuming that we have the full circulating supply, but we don't have the circulating supply. So let's just go 30. Let's be conservative. Let's just go to 30. 30 billion supply, that's only 3 trillion. So if we surpass the market cap that cryptocurrency just hit last bull run, that would take Stellar to $100. So for me, when I'm going through this and I see these theories about what XLM could be used for, if we're 10% right, it's a life-changing opportunity. If we're halfway right, it's generational wealth. If we're 100% right, we will be the righteous custodians of reserve currencies that are going to be running the new financial system. And with that will become a lot of responsibility. We're going to be coming into a lot of wealth. Now, as I said, these guys are going to want to play with the market cap calculations till the sun comes up tomorrow. I'm not here to give you an exact price prediction. I'm not here to tell you when that's going to occur. Kendra Hill said that things have been delayed. She was expecting a crypto bull run in 2019. Obviously, that didn't come till later, right? And then the new financial system got delayed once again with the events of 2020. So where we're at right now is a delayed timeline. The systems have been ready to go. That's the thing. The insiders have dropped the knowledge, and those of us that have done the research can see it's already ready to roll. It's all there. The partnerships that matter. They've already done their proof of concept. They're doing their trials. They need the perfect crisis. How can you get the world to accept one world currency? It's going to take a lot, right? And I still do believe that there is a potential before we get that far for just the CBDCs to be built on XLM and these other utility cryptocurrencies. I no longer believe in, like I said, one currency is going to have one utility exclusively. And all of the CBDCs are going to be on XLM. And all of the derivatives are going to be on XRP. I think that you're going to see these get chunks of each of it. But go look at how big these networks are. $20 trillion settled every day between SWIFT and ACI worldwide, over $100 trillion in the stocks globally, $50 trillion in the US market, $61 trillion traded per year in 2019. I'm sure that number's even higher now over the last couple years. And over $1 quadrillion in derivatives, and we don't even know because derivatives isn't on blockchain. It's a whole pyramid scheme by the Wall Street fraudsters, and JP Morgan and gang have been manipulating it forever. Post-reset, post-revaluation, you see how quickly we go to a life-changing price. For many of you guys, myself included, I talk about XRP being life-changing at $10. XLM is going to be life-changing at a similar price too, right? I mean, it's going to do something for us. But even if we're just part of the way right about where this goes, whether Kendra Hill is real or not, I mean, it's fun to go down the rabbit holes, and there's some connections, and a lot of the predictions have come true. And I can't speak on some of it. I wish I could go deeper as far as us, moving into the age of light. Yeah, you guys see that agenda, and you guys know where I would be going with that if I could, but for obvious reasons, we're going to keep it focused here on not going down the rabbit holes that are troublesome and worrisome and evil. But you guys know. Now, in conclusion, I just want to say thank you for everyone that's been supporting our work, supporting our community. We're about to surpass 50,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so I'm just super grateful. We just had Thanksgiving. So thank you for everyone that's been tuning in and helping me share this message far and wide. And this is just one of many deep dives and other webinars, resources that we're going to be launching. And so if you guys are looking to get tapped in, you can head on over to my website, zachrector.com. Feel free to sign up for the Patreon, get access to the Discord group, okay? And we would love to have you join our family of investors and researchers over there. As far as YouTube goes, this is about as much as I can say on XLM, on the stellar secrets. I mentioned some of the entities and the groups where this goes and how I don't expect more than a slap on the wrist from the SEC towards Jed McCaleb. And so that means that XLM it's in the right hands. It's going to be part of the new financial system. And then it's just a matter of us playing with the market cap bros, trying to figure out how high this gets. Trying to figure out what inputs to put into that equation. It's a very simple equation, but then it comes to our assumptions and speculations from there. But for me, where I get assurance is knowing that I have life-changing gains when we're just 10% right. When we're 50% right, it's generational wealth. Okay, sign me up. Let me double down. Let me have 100% conviction, which, as you're seeing right now, a lot of people folding right now. We're into the depths of the bear market, about 11 months into a bear market now in the cryptocurrency space. Looks like we're about to bottom out here shortly and recover up. And the utility cryptocurrencies like XLM, they're not going to be suppressed forever. Okay. So I have no doubt about what is going to happen here as far as it being a life-changing opportunity. Will it give us generational wealth? Well, we'll see. We'll report back here in 5 years, maybe 10 years. Remain patient. Understand the timeline has been delayed. But the research that we've been able to compile and do, whether the insiders are real or not, doesn't matter. Whether the gematria matters to you or not, whether the fact that stellar XLM is the mark of the beast, and most people are about to be chipped here in the next 5-10 years, no matter what that means, it's a life-changing opportunity, and we definitely got to take advantage of that. And for me, you guys know what I'm going to be planning on doing with my wealth, okay? Being righteous custodians of these reserve currencies and helping humanity building value within my community and across this world. That's what we're here to do. even if these little cryptos might be pushed by some evil entities, we're going to take advantage of it, and we're going to try to do some good with it in the meantime. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this XLM deep dive, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.